So now looking at our third type of elasticity, we're looking at cross-price elasticity of demand. So rather than just looking at how the quantity demanded changes after a change in the price of a product or the change of an income, what we're looking at is how two products are related to each other. Have they got a relationship? Is there no relationship between them? How does the change in the price of one product affect the other product, the quantity demanded for the other product? So a nice picture of bread and butter here, so this should become clear as we go on. So again, very similar specification objectives. You need to define cross-price elasticity of demand, or XED or XPD, some people write it as, calculate it. We've got to be able to interpret these figures. So there's two things that you can say about XED. You can say whether that's elastic or inelastic, and you can also say whether they're substitutes or complements. And we've got to discuss the relevance of XED. So why is it interesting for businesses? Okay, so definition here: the responsiveness of the quantity demanded for one product in relation to a change in the price of another product. Again, bit of a mouthful, so I would advise you in the exam, if asked for a definition, put down the equation. Which is here. So percentage change in the quantity demanded of product A over the percentage change in the price of product B. So again, price, because it's about money, money's the bottom line, it's on the bottom. Don't get these mixed up and invert them. They give you 1 mark out of 2 if you do invert them, but it's an easy mark to get, you know, two marks. Just get it the right way around. Okay, again, egg sandwiches. Now my second favourite type of sandwich is tuna sandwiches. So let's have a look at if there's a relationship between these two. So the price of a tuna sandwich or sandwiches increases from £1.50 to £2. The quantity demanded of egg sandwiches changes from 200 to 250. Okay, so the price has changed by 50p, and it's this is one of the ones where you need to know, you need to interpret whether it's positive or negative. So that's an increase in price over the original. So 0.5 over 1.5 is 0.3 recurring, or 33.3 recurring percent. And then the quantity demanded of egg sandwiches changes from 200 to 300. So 100 is the change over the original, which was 200, equals 0.5 or 50%. So then when we put this in our XED figure, it's 50 over 33.3, or 0.5 over 0.3 reoccurring, and that gives, because they're both positive numbers, it gives a positive number, and it gives 1.5. Now because it begins with a whole number, 1, that means it's elastic. So it's the quantity demanded for egg sandwiches is sensitive to a change in price of tuna sandwiches. But because it's positive, it means that they're actually substitutes for each other. Now, you know, when you work out the figure, and, you know, say you're in the exam and you're a little bit stressed and you're thinking, does positive mean substitutes? Does it mean complements? Look at the products. It's usually quite, you know, kind of common sense based. I would imagine tuna sandwiches and egg sandwiches are substitutes for each other. They're not particularly complements, but you know, just make a decision based on logic if you can't remember. But yeah, if it comes out positive, it is a substitute for each other. So what do these answers mean? And it measures the relationship between the two different products. So if you get a positive answer, it means they're substitutes. If you get a negative answer, it means they're complements. And if you get a figure that comes out as a 0, it means there is no relationship. So the larger the number is, the either negative or positive, it could be a substitute or a complement, the stronger the relationship. So the more elastic your figure becomes, the stronger the relationship. So elastic means strong relationship, inelastic means a weak relationship between them. Although there is a relationship, but it's quite weak. Okay, so why is it important for businesses? Lots of text here. So if a business has a product with high, so you know, maybe starts with 2 point something, and positive XED, that means that it's positive, so it's a substitute, and it's got a strong relationship with another product. So it's the quantity demanded of that product is very sensitive to a change in the price of the other product that it has a relationship with. So, you know, I'm thinking here of very close substitutes for each other. You know, you might want to lower the price of the product that you're in control of the price of to gain market share. Or you may want to think about trying to make your product less elastic. You might think, well, how can I do that? By making it seem more different than it is. And the classic example of this is Coca-Cola and Pepsi. You know, basically the same product, but people are so loyal. I don't know why. I just always drink Coca-Cola. I just always prefer it. I don't know why. It's basically the same product. But, you know, I think it's branding. You know, advertising and branding can make the product seem less different. So if you've got a very close substitute, so elastic, you're going to want to maybe lower the price to attract customers away from the other product, or you want to make them seem less similar, so less elastic. Try and make them seem more inelastic. The relationship is a bit weaker to each other. But what you definitely don't want to do is increase the price of your products, because they're close substitutes. If you increase the price of the product, people are going to go and purchase the other product. Okay, so bit more complicated then if a product finds out they have complements, so you're getting a negative figure here. So you want to be a little bit aware of the relationship, because it might be that you sell both of the products in your store, so you're quite you know, in control of how you market them and advertise them, so you might want to put them on the same aisle next to each other. So I've seen this in supermarkets, and I'm walking down the alcohol aisle, and they have two things usually on alcohol aisles. Well, three things: alcohol, but the other two things they have is gift bags that fit bottles of wine. So, you know, complements for each other. They've placed them near to each other. And they also have corkscrews, so complements for each other as well. So you may want to display the items together in a shop. If you don't actually sell the other product, you might just want to kind of keep an eye on what the business that does sell a product is doing to the price of that product, so that you can be a little bit more aware of how it might affect the quantity demanded for your product. Okay, so define price elasticity of demand: percentage change in the quantity demanded of good A of percentage change in the price of good B. Calculate it, interpret it. So there's two things you can say: is it elastic, is it inelastic? So as in, is there a strong relationship, elastic, or weak relationship, inelastic? And are they substitutes for each other, so a positive figure, or a negative figure would be complements for each other? And discuss the relevance of XED. If they're substitutes, you want to be aware of that. You're not going to want to increase the price if they're close substitutes. And you probably want to make them less elastic to each other, so a bit of branding in there. And if they're complements, you want to be more aware of that. You maybe want to be aware of where you're displaying your items, or maybe keeping a close eye on if another business sells one of the products that's complement for your product.